Unwell. Unwell is... Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Alana. And this is going to be a very fun vlog. This is going to be short, sweet, concise, and it's basically going to be a debrief of the trip to Europe and then what happened after, and a few different updates as well, like what I packed and I didn't even wear, what I did wear, anything that I got along the way, some products that I use and I've spoken to you about before, and now I'm realizing like either I actually really like them and I'm really seeing a difference in the benefits that they provide, or it's not giving anymore. So if you're new here, hello, and if you're not, welcome back to the channel. My name's Alana, and we're gonna get into all of it, all of the above. Okay, we're gonna do it. And I just got back from my travels all over in Europe. I went to London, France, Paris specifically. I went to Venice, and then I spent the last portion of my vacation in the Dolomites, which are the Alps of Italy. I had an amazing time, and we're going to talk about what happened when I got back. Yeah, so if you haven't already, make sure you like this video as you're watching. Leave a comment. It could be anything, a heart, you're doing great, honey, whatever you want to leave. It really helps the channel. It costs you $0. It's super free, and it really helps me as I am a content creator, and this is something that I'm really, genuinely pursuing in my life. So a like, a share of the video, a comment below is super helpful and very much appreciated. Also, I'm binge worthy, so go back and rewatch all the vlogs. Definitely catch up on the last two vlogs, the France vlog, the Paris, France vlog, and then Venice and the Dolomites. I think you will like it. And if you want to get a taste of what these usual weekly vlogs are like, go back. There's a whole playlist. We'd love to see you. Okay, so first things first is the trip was amazing. It was, a few different stints. We started out in London, where we got to stay with his family, hang out with them a bit. I got to hang out with some of my friends that I have in London as well. And from there we went to Paris, France, and for about 2 days, and I did the museums, bopped around the city, and from there we went to Venice, Italy. We stayed there for 2 days, and then we spent the last leg of the trip in the Dolomites, in the Italian in the Italian Alps, the Dolomites, and it was amazing. So from there, the weather very much changed. So when we first got there, London was very humid. It wasn't warm in the sense that like you can't dress like you're in Miami, but a lot of the clothes that I packed, like I had brought a long leather trench coat, not too heavy, but for weather, if it's going to be like in the 40s, 50s, which it was projected to be, but it wasn't when we got there. Plus, because it is a city, it's got a lot of cars and trains and buses, so there's just a lot of combustion, so the actual city area is a bit muggy. So I did not, so one thing I regret packing is that long leather trench coat, because the weather was cooler as we went along. It was much cooler in Paris, and then it was even cooler. Venice was actually quite warm, but then it was super cool in the Dolomites. But I didn't end up bringing my trench coat with me, so I traveled with the trench coat, which was kind of annoying because it didn't fit in my suitcase, because I had my fleece, I had my other jackets in there, and so I was planning to carry that one because I've done that before and it usually worked out. But this time it wasn't worth it because I literally didn't even wear it. Didn't wear the scarf. And I didn't wear it because it was too warm in London. From London, we went to France. I didn't bring it with me to France because Paris was quite warm. And then, no, Paris was a little bit cooler. But long story short, at the end of our trip, we ended in the Dolomites, and from the Dolomites we went back to London to his family's house where we stayed, to Michael's family's house where we stayed, and then flew from London to Miami. That's why I didn't bring the coat, because I was like, all right, as I wasn't wearing it, I was like, we left a few things behind so we wouldn't have to carry so much going from France to Venice to the Dolomites. That makes any sense. So now I regret bringing it because, one, I didn't wear it, and because I didn't wear it, it was just a hassle having to carry it there and then bring it back home. From there, we went to Paris, and it was a bit cooler, but because we were only there for a day and a half, 2-ish days, it wasn't so bad, and it wasn't very necessary to need anything heavy. I picked up a couple of sweaters there that were really nice, really warm and casual, and I did end up wearing them in Venice and then also in the Dolomites. And so it was colder in Paris than it was in London. And then from there we went to Venice. Venice was actually warmer, so the temperature was kind of going back up. It was really nice, very, very beautiful, very warm in Venice. And I would say it was probably like high 70s, mid to high 70s. And from there we went to the Dolomites, which was quite cool. So immediate temperature drop. When we got there, it was probably about, I would say it was in its 50s at its warmest, like mid to low 50s at its warmest. And I think the second day in, we went to the top of the mountains where it was all snow capped. It was maybe 20 degrees or cooler. It was quite cold. I had the right gear. The boots were perfect. All my Lululemon stuff was so warm, and I was able to layer it and stack it on top of each other with my fleece. Everything, like, I think I packed super well for that. But this is the catch. From there, Michael was cycling while we were up in the Dolomites, cycling all around the mountains, and I don't think he had the proper gear, because the second we got back here to Miami, dun, 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 he had a cold. And we all know how colds work. A lot of the time, you always hear about these stories about people who go on vacation, and the second they get on vacation, they have a cold because their immune system. So essentially, if you live like a stressful life and you're always in meetings and things are all, tensions are always high and you're always hustling and bustling, and the second you go on vacation, you catch a cold, that means you obviously don't have very much like work-life balance, and your immune system is so used to operating in chaos. The second you relax and calm down and go on vacation, your immune system kind of puts its guards down, and it's not having to fight and thrive off of that stress anymore. And that's when it's not able to combat the illness. And because it was so cold up there, I think he caught a cold from that, because the second we got back here, I mean, sneezing every 5 seconds, coughing. And I'm like, yeah, definitely you. And traveling and going from airport to airport and trains and cycling and all these things and driving all these places, that's stress in itself. And the second he got back here and was like, home, was like, cold. I was like, that definitely had to do with the drastic change in temperature in the Dolomites, and just, your immune system is now able to relax because you're home, you're in your, your own element, your own space, and boom, the cold is here, the cold is thriving, and that's his life. So I also was a bit unwell once I got here. I mean, had my own journey. I'm not going to give too much about it, but definitely was quite unwell by the time I got here as well. Needed to decompress, needed to rest, which is also why this vlog is what it is, because Mama needed to check out. She needed to be bedridden for a while, and I'm happy to report that she is better. She is happy, she is healthy, and she is on the right track. Right. So, on to the next segment of the vlog. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, bringing that trench, like, in theory, it was a great idea. It was beautiful. It was iconic. It was giving autumn. I am grateful that I got to experience autumn, because I know that I won't now that I'm back in Miami, but I got to see, like, leaves, like the color of the leaves change. Again, I was in winter weather actually, so I got to experience autumn and winter. So again, but even that like long leather trench coat would not have been the vibe or effective in those environments. So definitely regret bringing that. What else did I regret bringing? I wore all my shoes. I think I packed perfectly with the shoes, with the boots, the gym shoes, the casual Chanel espadrilles, one pair of heels. The jeans were dynamic. I picked up 2 sweaters along the way in France, which I'm obsessed with. And I didn't do too much shopping outside of that. I went to Zara in Paris. And then I got a couple gifts for some loved ones. And then I got like small things for myself. So I always, in my room, maybe I'll show you one day, but in my room, I have these portraits or these photos, whether it's a copy of an original classical piece of art or it's a photograph of statues. So the first time I went to France, I went to the Louvre, and there's these gorgeous statues of like Aphrodite, and I love them so much. I bought like 3 of them, brought them home, framed them, and now they're hanging in my room. And then I have art in my room. I have Van Gogh's Sunflower, and then I have this gorgeous photo, which I need to go read, but I got it from the National Gallery. Yes, because I saw it again with Gemma when I went this time, and I have it framed in my room. And so I got another piece of art, and I love doing this because I wish that I was a like billionaire, trillionaire, that I could own like original pieces, but obviously that's not the case. So I buy, when I go to these art museums, I buy my favorite pieces, like the print of them, and it's super inexpensive. Frames maybe cost like 20 bucks, and then the actual photo is like $7 or $8. So I did get one and I want to show it to you. I got this one. This one was about $8. It was about it was about €6, so probably like $8. And this is, I got this from the Frameless Museum that I went to with Gemma in London. This is by Henry Russo, and I loved it because obviously in that environment, like at Frameless, the art is all over the walls. It's kind of like the Van Gogh exhibition that goes from city to city. And a bit of that was also a part of the exhibition, but the photo was all over the walls. And I remember looking at it, I was like, I've seen the real one of this before. And I was like, I've seen this at the MoMA in New York. So my fairy godmother, Grace, who lives in New York, who showed me everything about New York, we went to museums together, Broadway, cabaret, everything. She really helped me discover the culture and the fascination of the art world there in New York. And when I saw this, I was like, I know this piece, but you know, you're seeing it on like 12-foot walls, and it's on the ceilings, on the floor. And I said, this is Henry Russo. I know this. I've seen this at the MoMA. And I had, because when I picked it up, it literally says Henry Russo, The Dream, at the MoMA in New York. I was like, I know I'm not crazy. I definitely saw this at the MoMA back in like 2017, 2018. And so I had to buy that. And then so I got this frame on Amazon for like 20 bucks. It's like bronzy-ish. So this in total is like a $30, like less than $30 piece of art that I'm going to be hanging on my wall. I love female bodies. I'll show you the other pieces one day, but it's like Aphrodite, another goddess, and then there's like an angel holding a woman, and they're all, it's just like naked, like the female form. And you know how like glorified it was, the full figured, beautiful, stunning women back in the day. I love having those images. And this other one, oh, this one, I want to get it down, but I'm afraid that I won't be able to get it back up. I'm going to show you guys one day, but it is beautiful. And it's this woman. When I saw it originally, I was like, this is gorgeous. It's this woman kind of like laying on a chase, and her back is towards the painter or whoever the artist is. And she's naked. So all you see is this like her back, her spine, and then the curve of her hips. And she's looking up, and Cupid is over her, like with the bow. It's so cute. So I got that, and then I got this really cute bookmark, which is the Van Gogh sunflower. I have a Van Gogh obsession. I have a Van Gogh sticker on my laptop. I have a Van Gogh character hanging from up there. I have Van Gogh over here. I don't know. I'm just obsessed with him. I always have been. I've taken my mom to see a few of his exhibitions, and then I've seen his stuff everywhere. Literally, I've seen it in New York. I've seen it at the Art Institute in Chicago, Musée d'Orsay, the National Gallery, the Louvre, wherever. I don't know why. I'm just obsessed with him. He's a vibe. He's a vibe. He was a vibe and still is, you know, through his art. Carries on. So nothing crazy. Didn't shop much. I got a lot of I got a lot of birthday gifts. So very grateful. Didn't need to shop. Had no need for that. And okay, so what does that bring me to next? That brings me to the vibes. What were the vibes of these locations? The vibes were honestly really great. That poem, The Desiderata, may the kindness of strangers follow you wherever you go. Very blessed to be able to say that, yeah, that rang true for my experience. Had an incredible time all around London, an amazing time all around France. And I spent, because Michael had to work for most of the full day that we were there, so I just spent the whole day at the museums, and I just met very kind people. Even when we went out for drinks and things, very, very kind people. In Italy, everyone was nice. There's only one person that was like kind of rude, like when we were checking, like doing our check-in to board our plane. Like this one lady was all up on me, and I'm like, you cannot go any further. You cannot go past me. So like, why? It was just like, she was just rude. She just like, literally, if I like moved my arm, it's like I didn't have any space. She was like inhaling my energy. I was like, get away. And so we worked it out. But that was like the only negative experience I had with someone outside of, with anyone, honestly. I was blessed to meet kind people, to travel with kind people on my flights. Everywhere I went was great. Super grateful, super grateful. Obviously, I had an amazing time with all the friends and family that were there. I think the vibes were great. The vibes were giving. London was fun. Paris was great. Venice was interesting for sure. It's very touristy, so I don't know, I feel like the people of like the owners of the restaurants and things, they can either be really aggressive because they're like, hurry up because we need to get people in and out, or like extremely nice. And I would say it wasn't until I got to Italy that I became this object that people had to touch. And I've been to Italy before, and I do remember it being that way too. Like, yeah, I forgot that like people were like just touching my hair, like, oh my god, mamma mia, like and just like literally just touching my hair, like the way that was inappropriate, but I didn't have the words to say. And the way that, you know, that obviously like in America that would not happen. Like everyone knows, like you just don't touch people's hair. In London, no one did that, but everyone has so many mixed people there, and like people with like crazy dope afros, like no one does that. No one did that. I mean, France has crazy beautiful afros and stuff too, but in Italy they were like, oh my god. So it was a little bit weird, a little bit strange, but I mean, that's the normal reaction. That's the same reaction I got the first time I went to Italy too, in totally different cities, and I was like, okay, whatever. But everyone was very, very much interested and infatuated with my hair in Venice and in the Dolomites, which is a bit more Austrian. Well, I think it was Austria, and so it's got a very much German vibe up there, and they also were just very into my hair. Cute, but also like a little weird. So, okay, last two things. Okay, product updates. Because, you know, when you travel, you're very dependent on what is immediately in your pocket. What do I not need to sift through my carry-on bag for, and I can just immediately reach for? So at one point in the travel, I just had my Rhode lip hyaluronic, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, like the Rhode lip. Let me just get it for you. This thing. So at first I was kind of into it. I mean, it's super cute, super convenient. So along the trip, I just put it in my fleece jacket. It was just always in my pocket because, again, the temperatures are kind of drastically shifting. And then towards the end of the trip, it was just getting colder and colder. So my lips were getting dry. My hair was getting dry. Like, obviously, these things happen in these kind of climates. And I can tell you this, I don't know. When I was in the, I think, so this is the peptide lip tint. I think this is a little too strong for the skin on my lips, because it could either be that it's too strong for the skin on my lips, or especially so when I'm in drier environments, because I was only using this for like a few days, and the skin on my lips was cracking. It was dry, and like if you're using something moisturizing, like I should have just been, you know, sticking with the basics and using the Blistex, because if ever I've used a chapstick or like a Burt's Bees, I've never had that experience, like even when I lived in Chicago and New York. But between me using this, and again, it could be because the peptide in here or whatever is just so strong that it's burning. I think it was like burning my lips or like drying them out. I'm telling you, I was like, I haven't had to like peel skin off my lip in so long, and I was like, maybe this is not for me, at least not for now. I used it earlier this morning when I went to yoga, and my lips aren't peeling or whatever right now, so maybe it's just in those environments it was just not able to handle it. But I was like, definitely have a different relationship to this now. And then the other product update I want to mention is the Korean eye cream. Yes, I'm obsessed with that, because I have on no makeup. You know, this was always my problem area, and it's not that it's completely gone, but she's looking amazing. And I did not wear makeup. I mean, I don't usually wear makeup unless I'm like going somewhere. I wore makeup in London for the first night we went out for my birthday, and I think I wore makeup the second day when I hung out with Gemma. I did not wear makeup in Paris. I just wear lipstick. And I did not wear makeup in the Dolomites. So I think I maybe wore makeup like twice on the trip. And yeah, probably twice on the trip. And my skin, like, and mind you, obviously they're 5 hours ahead over there. So I'm, you know, changing time zones. I was staying up far later than normal. My sleep was just off. And like, I think and I didn't wear makeup. Like that eye cream, that Korean eye cream, yes, she's the one and not the two. She will always be in the collection. She has made the biggest difference in my under eye area that I've ever used, of any other product that I've ever used. Again, sleep deprived, changing time zones, not wearing makeup, all things that should really highlight like dark circles, bags, have you looking crazy. And that Korean cream that I use every time I wash my face, like I honestly, it's like I don't have, like, everything is bright, and it was like this the whole time. So if you haven't, I would definitely get it. And it's inexpensive. It was like max, it was 14 bucks. I feel like it was 12, whatever it is. I'll link it here for you. That's the one, and not the two for sure. So those are the product updates I have. Those are the few little things that I got along the way. That's a little bit of that, a little bit of this and that about the journey, the trip. And yeah, I just wanted to catch you up. Again, I was very unwell when I got back home. Michael is coming out of his unwellness, and I'm really looking forward to getting back on the ball, having an amazing week, and vlogging because it's been a while. And yeah, she's ready. See you soon. Okay, whatever. But yeah, so thank you for watching. This is a cute little catch up. I talk really quickly. I hope you can keep up with that. Love you. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you next time.